Welcome to this explainer. You know, for literally decades now, one single operating system has been practically synonymous with the word computer for most of the world. Today, we're going to unpack exactly what makes Microsoft Windows the reigning desktop champion, and, crucially, where it falls short.
Think about that iconic Windows 11 bloom. It's really more than just a background. It represents the massive evolution of an OS that powers everything from high-end gaming PCs in your bedroom right up to the massive global business networks that literally keep the economy running. It has come a very long way from the days of Windows 95, evolving into this sleek, modern aesthetic while still carrying a tremendous amount of legacy right under the hood.
Here is how we're breaking it all down today. 1. The undisputed desktop king. 2. Where Windows shines brightest. 3. The frustrating friction points. 4. Windows versus the competition. And 5. The final verdict. Let's jump right into part 1. The undisputed desktop king, exploring the foundation of Windows' global dominance. So what really makes it the king? Well, it's how it seamlessly bridges the gap between your everyday office productivity and hardcore, complex enterprise management. You have this totally familiar environment where everyday work happens, creating presentations, writing emails, joining meetings, running right alongside heavy-hitting back-end tools like Active Directory, which IT admins rely on to manage thousands of users across corporate networks.
The absolute crucial point here is that whether you're an IT pro managing a domain or an architecture student designing a skyscraper, Windows has the most expansive software ecosystem built specifically for you. It's the undisputed first choice for heavyweight apps like Office, Adobe Creative Cloud, and AutoCAD. For the enterprise world, centralized management through group policy and tools like BitLocker make it an essential standard. And honestly, the backward compatibility? Unmatched. You can often run software built over a decade ago on a brand new Windows machine today. Crazy, right?
Moving right along to part 2, where Windows shines brightest. The ultimate hardware and gaming playground.
If you're the kind of person who loves tinkering, upgrading your RAM, swapping out GPUs, or just building a custom PC entirely from scratch, Windows is practically the only choice out there that gives you this level of hardware freedom. You can run Windows on a super specialized, slim business laptop, or push it to the absolute limit on a glowing, liquid-cooled custom desktop rig. It simply doesn't restrict you. It completely adapts to whatever hardware you decide to build or buy.
And because of that wide-open hardware compatibility, it's also the best operating system for PC gaming by an absolute landslide. Microsoft has deeply integrated gaming into the OS with features like the Xbox Social Overlay. It boasts a massive game library, the absolute best GPU driver support from NVIDIA and AMD, and awesome native integrations with tech like Direct Storage, Auto HDR, and Xbox Game Pass.
Okay, but it's not all perfect. Let's get into part 3, the frustrating friction points, uncovering the dark side of the world's most popular OS.
This creates a really fascinating paradox that pretty much every Windows user just has to live with. On one hand, modern Windows actually has incredible hardware-based security built right in. Features like TPM support, Secure Boot, and Microsoft Defender offer robust protection right out of the box. But here's the harsh reality. Simply because of its global popularity, Windows remains the absolute biggest target for malware on the planet. Number 1 for viruses, trojans, ransomware. And if you let your machine fall behind on updates, those older versions become a massive security risk very fast.
And beyond the threat of malware, users frequently battle these incredibly annoying daily frustrations. The system can often feel weighed down by pure bloat, pre-installed apps, aggressive AI integrations, and literally advertising right in your start menu. Then you've got telemetry features constantly collecting diagnostic data, raising totally valid privacy concerns. But perhaps the most universally complained about feature? Forced automatic updates. I mean, we've all felt that specific eye-twitching panic of an unexpected restart right in the middle of an unsaved project, right? Which naturally brings us to the very controversial hardware wall Microsoft erected with Windows 11. While the RAM and storage demands were somewhat standard, there were a few specific requirements that caused an absolute uproar in the PC community. Remember those necessary security benefits we talked about a minute ago? Well, to get them, users suddenly had to navigate strict requirements like enabling Secure Boot. And let's be honest, for everyday users, being forced to dig into their computer's BIOS menu is incredibly intimidating and confusing. So the real kicker is that these strict requirements, especially the demand for TPM 2.0 and highly modern CPUs, actually blocked millions of perfectly fine, highly capable older PCs from upgrading to Windows 11. It created a massive hardware bottleneck. And it leaves users totally stranded, forcing some incredibly difficult choices now that Windows 10 officially lost support in 2025. You either buy a brand new PC or you take the huge risk of running an unsupported operating system. All right, let's zoom out for part 4. Windows versus the competition, stacking up against macOS and Linux.
When you actually stack the competition side by side like this, you see exactly why Windows maintains its dominance. It is just incredibly balanced. It scores excellent in gaming, software compatibility, and hardware flexibility. Compare that to macOS, which heavily limits your hardware flexibility, or Linux, which can honestly be difficult regarding driver support and ease of use sometimes. Yes, Windows definitely takes a big hit for being a high malware target, but its overall versatility just makes it the most well-rounded tool for the widest variety of tasks.
Finally, let's wrap this up with part 5, the final verdict, contextualizing Windows' place in computing.
Look, despite the system bloat, those annoying forced updates, and the incredibly strict hardware requirements that locked out older machines, Windows absolutely remains the most practical and versatile choice out there. It provides a highly capable environment. Whether a gamer pushing graphical limits, a developer coding the next big app, or an enterprise user managing massive networks, Windows' unmatched ecosystem is simply too powerful and too deeply ingrained to be dethroned anytime soon. But as we look to the future, reviewing all of this leaves us with one seriously provocative thought to consider. Will Windows' massive hardware dominance and legacy software compatibility even continue to matter as our computing tasks move further and further into the cloud? As AI and browser-based tools take over everything we do, will the operating system underneath just become invisible? It's a fascinating question about the future of tech. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and always keep questioning the systems you rely on every single day.